What is up, guys? It is Styx here, and today I'm going to be going over a very good sniper rifle that has been dropping that I don't think a lot of people have really gone over because obviously Adored has been out for a minute with Beyond Light and stuff. And that sniper is the Frozen Orbit, which is unsurprisingly one of the Crucible playlist specific weapons. Now, what this means is that the only ways to obtain this weapon is at the end of Crucible matches from Mayhem, Control, Rumble, any of that, and it is a completely random drop. The only thing you can do to technically farm this weapon is you can put on Crucible Prosperity and then sweatier loadouts in the non-MMR playlists. That way you have a better odds in winning games. So for example, in something like Rumble, most people are going to be running around with not great loadouts and you can end a game really quickly if you're good enough and have a good loadout. It goes the same way with Control ever since they, for some reason, put Mercies in it. That is the only way you can farm it, is using Crucible Prosperity. It's a ghost mod. Now, as far as the god rolls for this weapon, there are several good rolls, but the god roll is going to be based on your preference when you're using a sniper. So I will go over each line of potential perks and the slots that they go into as we go along. First of all, for your barrel, there are going to be two main perks you're going to go for, and this is either fluted barrel or hammerforged rifling. This is depending on what you want from your sniper. For example, fluted barrel provides a +5 to your stability, which is not really what's concerning here, but a +15 to your handling, which means your draw or snapshotting speeds are going to be higher. Now, this does not matter if you use either quick draw or snapshot. However, since quick draw and snapshot are in the same perk slot, it is impossible to get both at the same time. So if you are looking for a little bit of just something to help with that, if you plan on just rolling a really high handling sniper that you can flick out and then shoot someone with, potentially, that is what you would want. But personally, I much prefer hammerforged rifling, which is a straight +10 to your range boost. Now, you might be thinking throughout this whole video, so I'm going to be explaining it. The way that range works in Destiny 2 is you have a max range that you can hit before you have damage fall off. Because of the way range works, anything below this damage fall off, you can get a bit further from someone's head and it will still count as a headshot, is essentially what it is. It's like the bullets, because of their potential range, there's like this odd cone that goes on and makes it so that you are able to more consistently hit headshots with extra range on your weapons, which is why even though this is a sniper and you would expect, oh, it's got all the range in the world already, why do you want more range? That is what you would use it for. Also know that in the context of this, I'm talking about PvP rolls because I don't really think that this is a great PvE sniper. Now, as far as your magazine perks, there are really only two that you should even think about. My god roll for this is accurized rounds because it's another +10 range, but the other potential perk is tactical mag. Now, the reasoning for this also being good on this weapon is it only has 3 bullets in the magazine initially. So, this gives you an extra bullet to work with, along with a little bit of reload speed and a little bit of stability, +5 stability to be exact and +10 reload speed, which is just generally helpful for all around play, especially if you're someone who's going to be, maybe you're not the best sniper, similar to me, I'm not great at all, so it takes a little bit of time to get warmed up with a sniper rifle or to even get headshots to begin with. I don't perform as well with a sniper as I do with many other weapons in the game, unfortunately, so that kind of stuff is helpful overall. Now, as far as the first actual perk slot, you are definitely going to want something like Killing Wind, Moving Target, and my personal favorite being No Distractions. Now, No Distractions is usually not something you would need on a sniper, since before the flinch was negligible, especially on PC, and there were times where you would even get flinched into headshotting someone, rather than being flinched out of a headshot. And there's just nothing that people could do about that as far as counterplay to sniper rifles. However, more recently, they made changes that greatly increased the flinch that snipers take when they're aiming down sights. This perk, which after you're aiming for a couple of seconds, reduces the flinch that you take. This is very useful for holding angles without being shot out of them immediately by someone rounding the corner with like a hand cannon. It still gives you that little bit of time to land your headshot so you can secure a pick in, for example, something like Trials. Now, the other good perks that I mentioned were moving target, which increased movement speed and target acquisition when you're moving while aiming down sights. This is also useful for when you're dealing with other snipers, because odds are you're going to be strafing or crouch shotting against each other, and this is going to make it much easier to deal with them while being in an advantageous position. Killing wind for the same general reason, final blows grant increased mobility, range, and handling for a short duration. This just overall makes your weapon much more snappy after a kill. I personally wouldn't recommend this as much because you're not going to be able to chain kills together as easily as you would something like a shotgun. Now, as far as the second perk slot for this weapon, there are several interesting perks, and that is going to be dependent on how you want to use this weapon. If you want it to be generally more consistent, then I would recommend for PvP just snapshot sights. Any sniper rifle without snapshot sights immediately will feel inferior. However, there are times when you're going to want to make some sort of specific build. So for example, let's say you wanted to try to one-shot body shot because it is an aggressive frame sniper rifle, so it can one-shot body shot. If you use, for example, a warlock with empowering rift and high impact reserves, which does roll in the second slot of this sniper. On top of that, it also rolls with multi-kill clip and kill clip. All of these perks can be very helpful when you're trying to just get those one-shot body shot kills just to mess around if you want, or if you want to seriously play that way. That's up to you. I don't like doing that because it doesn't really make using the sniper fun. If I wanted to one-shot someone without really aiming at them, I would use a shotgun. But I can definitely understand why it could be fun to just do that. And for example, in Iron Banner, when you're underpowered, that way you are actually on a better playing field against other people. But either way, I would greatly recommend that you use this in Crucible. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.